Bangkok is a must-see for anyone visiting Thailand, although we should choose our itinerary according to our tastes and preferences. One popular option available to us is a visit to the hill tribes. There are 38 ethnic groups in Thailand, from the Akhas and Lisu that frequent Khao San Road to the rare but famous Padong, who live in the mountains bordering Burma, or the Sea Gypsies in the south of the country. The country is a real patchwork of minorities that together account for more than 1 million of Thailand's inhabitants. Each group speaks its own language and has its own particular culture. The first human beings to colonize Southeast Asia some 50,000 years ago came from Africa. From then on, many migratory movements took place in various directions. The mixing of different peoples was interspersed with periods of isolation, circumstances that have led to the extraordinary ethnic variety that we've come to associate with this part of the world today. In the case of Thailand, over the last 2 centuries, many of the peoples who live here now were forced to flee other countries due to wars or the pressure of other more powerful ethnic groups. These peoples have received a warm welcome in Thailand, to the extent that they were even offered the chance to possess their own lands. The people who live here are sometimes called hill people. While many of them still live in hilly areas, we can also find them living on the central plains of eastern Thailand, around Bangkok, and on the southern coasts. The majority of these people make a living from agriculture. Rice is the mainstay of their diet, and a great deal of their cultural universe and social life revolves around the earth and its natural cycles. If you're interested in getting to know some of these tribes a bit better, we recommend that you speak to your local tourist guide, since it's not easy to arrange visits from outside of the country, and we cannot offer you any general guidelines. It is possible to meet them in person, but this will depend on when you want to visit, the time available, your particular circumstances, and so on. And what can you expect to find? Well, if what you're looking for are traditional, primitive tribes, it won't be easy. You have to remember that over the last 50 years, technological products have reached local markets in the region already, including Thailand, and the arrival of tourism to the country has contributed to changing the environment and living conditions. At a first glance, you can see that many houses are no longer built of wood and palm leaves. Nowadays, they're made of brick and have metal roofs. Mobile phones are a common consumer product. In terms of lifestyle, these people are caught between 2 extremes. On the one hand, they have their own way of life and social structure, a unique character that they work hard to preserve. On the other hand, they no longer live in an isolated world, and they're increasingly influenced by the global nature of society. These peoples are also obliged to respect the basic social standards set by the country that receives them, and adapting to these circumstances requires changes. At one end of the spectrum, for example, the hill people's traditional crafts or dress are well preserved, especially in the case of women, as are their eating habits, beliefs, customs and games. At the other end of the scale, it's quite clear that schools are run according to the local Thai educational system and are often influenced by imported cultural models and religions. Do visit a school if you have the opportunity. These are hospitable people, and if the timing is right, you'll be given a warm welcome. If you're interested in spending some time in one of these communities, you can visit the provinces of Chiang Rai, Chiang Mai, or in particular, Mai Hong Son, all of which are located in the north of the country.